For me, believing again took vulnerability. It took a long, honest look in the mirror. It took a good talk with myself. Healing was hard, messy, fattening, and sickening work. Yes, fattening. Yes, late night burritos. Yes, burgers. Yes, cookies. Yes, wine. Yes, headaches. Yes, hangovers. After nights of praying to see clearly, it felt like bandages were quickly and painfully stripped off my face. But let me say, it wasn't quick. It took a lot of time. But when the blinders were finally off and I could see situations and people for what and who they were, it was a hard reckoning. For most of my life, I was looking through the lens of what I wanted to be true. When the rose coloring was wiped from my glasses, I saw reality. And I was angry at everyone. I was even angry at God. I went into isolation and threw my fists in the air and at myself. I questioned everything and everyone in my life. I questioned everything I once believed. My journals became filled with my theory that God did not love me or black people. I felt like the God that I was taught to serve and love has been breadcrumbing black folks. Yes, I went all the way there. I had so many questions. What loving God would bring us to America to be enslaved? What loving God would allow us to go through all that we went through? What loving God would allow us to still be treated the way we are? What loving God this? What loving God that? And here, here we are as a people so heavily devoted to this being who watches us suffer, then throws crumbs of freedom, and we are satisfied for a while. Then more suffering. Then throws us crumbs of housing. Then we are satisfied. Then more suffering. Then more crumbs. Then more suffering. And the cycle kept repeating. And I got to a point where I couldn't see it any other way. Then I made it personal. I spent days and nights collecting my stories of abuse and emotional neglect, mental illness and sexual trauma. I spent time with all those stories. I never had a romantic relationship that worked. I never had this. I never had that. What loving God could watch me go through that? It was a lot. Then something happened. Time happened. Silence happened. Walks through nature happened. I sat with myself. I sat with others. Took long drives. And love started returning. Belief started returning. I began being flooded with memories of being rescued. There were times when there was no way out, and I know that I was saved. One night after I had cut my hair and I kept staring at myself in the mirror. And I remember back in the 3rd grade, I fell from a garage onto the sidewalk at my babysitter's backyard. And I had a fractured skull. I was in intensive care for weeks. I could have died. I could have at least lived with brain damage. And not only do I not have brain damage, but I also don't have a scar from that fall. There were many times I was saved. I started collecting those stories too. I started coming back to myself.